Have you ever felt that, as you age, your time and energy become more precious than ever? Welcome to a heart-to-heart talk about elderly wisdom, the kind that comes from years of giving, loving, and learning life's toughest lessons. Today, we're diving into something rarely said out loud, but vital for senior safety. Not everyone deserves your kindness. After decades of putting others first, it's time to protect your senior health and embrace healthy aging by choosing who gets to share your life after 70. In this video, we'll uncover 5 types of people you should never trust or pour your heart into because your peace is worth guarding. Imagine this. You've spent a lifetime being the dependable one, always saying yes to help others, only to realize some people see your generosity as a given, not a gift. Or maybe you've felt the sting of subtle criticism that chips away at your confidence, leaving you questioning your worth. These moments aren't just frustrating. They can drain the joy from your golden years. That's why I'm sharing senior safety tips to help you spot the takers, critics, and manipulators who don't belong in your circle. By the end of this video, you'll feel empowered with elderly wisdom to set boundaries that protect your spirit and nurture healthy aging. Stick with me, because these aren't just tips. They're a roadmap to reclaiming your peace and living life after 70 with confidence and joy. Let's explore how to make senior safety your superpower, starting right now. 1. Guarding your precious peace in your golden years. As the years weave their stories into our lives, something sacred becomes clear. Our energy, both physical and emotional, is a treasure. In your life after 70, every moment feels like a gift, and elderly wisdom teaches us to hold it close. You've spent decades giving your heart, forgiving freely and opening your door to others, even when your soul whispered for rest. But here's a truth that healthy aging demands we embrace. Kindness doesn't mean saying yes to everyone. Senior safety begins with protecting your peace, a right you've earned through years of love, loss, and lessons. Think of Sarah, a vibrant 72-year-old from a quiet Seattle suburb. For years, she was the one everyone turned to. Friends, family, neighbors, need a ride to the doctor. Sarah was there, a shoulder to lean on. Sarah's door was always open. But as time passed, she noticed her energy waning. Not from age, but from carrying the weight of others' expectations. Birthdays slipped by without a call. Her own senior health took a back seat as she poured herself into those who rarely gave back. One quiet evening it hit her. Her kindness was being taken for granted. She wasn't a person to them, she was a resource. That realization sparked a shift. Sarah learned that elderly wisdom isn't just about giving, it's about choosing who deserves your light. Protecting your peace isn't selfish, it's sacred. Senior safety tips remind us that saying no is a powerful act of self-respect. You don't owe anyone an explanation for guarding your spirit. Your time, your heart, your life after 70, these are yours to cherish. If someone only values you for what you provide, their presence dims your joy. Healthy aging means surrounding yourself with those who see your worth, not your utility. It's about relationships that flow both ways, where love isn't a transaction but a shared warmth. So pause and listen to that quiet voice inside, the one that knows when you're giving too much. Elderly wisdom whispers that your peace is worth more than pleasing others. You've walked too far, loved too deeply to let your energy be drained by those who don't honor it. In your life after 70, you have the right to step back, to draw boundaries, to choose yourself. This isn't about closing your heart, it's about opening it to the right people, those who lift you, who celebrate you, who make your days brighter. Senior safety is your shield, and your peace is the treasure. It guards, embrace it, you've earned it. 2. 5 types of people to keep at a distance in your golden years. As we embrace life after 70, elderly wisdom becomes our guide, teaching us to cherish our energy and protect our peace. Part of that wisdom is recognizing who belongs in our circle and who doesn't. Senior safety isn't just about locking doors or watching your step. It's about guarding your heart from those who drain it. In this chapter of healthy aging, you've earned the right to step back from relationships that dim your light. Let's walk through 5 types of people you should keep at a distance, not out of cruelty but out of love for yourself. These senior safety tips will help you nurture your spirit and live with joy. The constant taker first. There's the constant taker, someone who always needs something but rarely gives back. You know them. Their calls never start with, "How? Are you?" Instead, it's a favor, a request, or a crisis only you can solve. For years, saying yes might have felt like your role. Maybe it made you feel needed, like you were making a difference. But over time, you notice the pattern. They're there when they need you, but absent when you need them. Take Emily, a 68-year-old from Austin. She was the go-to person in her community, always ready to help with errands, lend a listening ear, or host last-minute gatherings. But when her birthday passed with only a fleeting text from those she'd helped, or when she was laid up with a cold and no one checked in, it stung. Slowly, Emily realized her kindness wasn't cherished. It was expected. She wasn't a friend, she was a convenience. Elderly wisdom taught her that senior safety means recognizing your worth. You're not a service. You're a soul with a lifetime of stories and love to share. Saying no to constant takers isn't selfish. It's a sacred act of healthy aging. You don't need to explain or apologize. If someone only stays close because you give, they don't value you. They value what you provide. Step back and make room for those who love you for you. The chronic critic next is the chronic critic, whose words cut like tiny hidden blades. They don't shout or insult outright. Instead, they slip little jabs into conversations, comments about your style, your choices, or even your hobbies. At first, you might laugh it off, thinking, that's just how they are. But those small digs pile up, chipping away at your confidence. Consider Harold, an 80-year-old from Chicago. Every weekend he visited his sister, bringing coffee and stories from his week. But each time she'd comment, "That shirt's a bit loud, don't you think? Or you're still tinkering with that garden? It's looking a bit wild." Said with a smile, but it landed like a weight. Over time, Harold stopped sharing his passions. He'd leave feeling smaller, bracing for the next critique. Senior safety tips remind us, you've lived too long to let anyone dim your spark. You don't owe apologies for who you are or need to shrink to fit someone else's mold. Healthy aging means surrounding yourself with people who celebrate you, not those who make you question your worth. If someone's words leave you heavier, instead of lighter, it's time to choose distance over discomfort. Protect your peace with the strength that says, "I choose my joy over your judgment." The guilt tripper. Then there's the guilt tripper, a master of subtle manipulation. They don't yell or demand. They use sighs, silences, or carefully worded comments to make you feel selfish for saying no. Their tactics are so quiet, you might not notice at first. But soon you're second-guessing your choices, bending over backward to avoid their disapproval. Margaret, a 76-year-old from Miami, felt this deeply. She loved doting on her grandchildren, baking cookies, driving them to practice, always saying yes to their needs. But the one time she declined to cancel her own plans, a text arrived. "I thought you'd always be there for us." No anger, just enough sadness to make her question herself. Was she letting them down? Should she rearrange her life again? That's what guilt trippers do. They twist your kindness into a debt. Elderly wisdom tells us, your time isn't a blank. Check for others to cash. Senior safety means recognizing that love isn't conditional on your yes. If someone withdraws affection when you set boundaries, that's not love, it's control. You don't need to justify your no or beg for understanding. In life after 70, protecting your peace is survival, not selfishness. Step back from those who make you feel guilty for choosing yourself and reclaim your right to joy. The secret competitor. The secret competitor is harder to spot. They smile, clap for your wins, but something's off. Their support feels hollow. Their compliments laced with comparisons. They're not your enemy, but they're not your cheerleader either. They see your light as a threat to theirs. Alice, a 73-year-old from Charlotte, felt this in her book club. After years of putting others first, she joined to rediscover her love for reading. She was thrilled to share her thoughts, but her friend Clara always had a sharper comment. "Your take is cute, but I read this author years ago." Or, "That's bold for someone new to this," said with a laugh, but it stung. Alice started, hesitating, doubting her insights. Senior safety tips remind us, real friends don't measure your joy against theirs. They celebrate you without keeping score. In healthy aging, you deserve warm, genuine connections, not cold competitions. If someone's encouragement feels like a veiled jab, you don't need to prove yourself. Quietly step back and make space for those who see your wins as proof that good things are still possible. Your life after 70 is for shining, not shrinking. The passive-aggressive manipulator. Finally, there's the passive-aggressive manipulator, whose words slip like shadows. They don't confront directly. They use sarcasm, backhanded compliments, or subtle put-downs to leave you doubting yourself. Their tactics are so indirect, you might feel you're overreacting, until the weight of their words settles in. James, an 81-year-old from Portland, knew this well. His neighbor Tom was all smiles, always ready with a joke. But when James asked for help moving a chair, Tom chuckled, "Getting a bit weak these days, huh?" Or, "I'd help, but I'm saving my back." Always a laugh, never an apology. James began to wonder, was he a burden? Elderly wisdom says you're not too sensitive for wanting respect. Senior safety means refusing to let subtle digs erode your confidence. Passive aggressors thrive on your hesitation, leaving you stuck in a cycle of trying to please them. But peace at the cost of your dignity isn't peace. It's a trap. You don't owe them your patience or your silence. In life after 70, choose clarity over games. Step back, not to fight, but to reclaim your space. Let them feel the absence of your warmth, not because you seek revenge, but because your gifts are too precious for those who don't honor them. Choosing your peace, these 5 types: constant takers, chronic critics, guilt trippers, secret competitors, and passive-aggressive manipulators, can dim the light of your life after 70. But elderly wisdom gives you the power to choose differently. Senior safety isn't just about physical well-being, it's about protecting your heart from those who don't see its value. Healthy aging means building a circle of people who lift you up, who love you for who you are, not what you give. You've earned the right to say no, to set boundaries, to walk away with clarity, not anger. Your peace is a treasure. Guard it fiercely, and let your senior safety tips guide you to a life filled with joy and genuine connection. The sacred power of personal boundaries. As we journey through life after 70, elderly wisdom reveals a truth that grows clearer with each passing year. Your peace is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Setting personal boundaries isn't about building walls or turning cold. It's about honoring the soul you've spent a lifetime nurturing. Senior safety goes beyond locking doors or watching your step. It's about guarding your emotional energy with the same care you'd give a precious heirloom. In this chapter of Healthy Aging, boundaries are your shield, ensuring your heart and spirit thrive. Let's explore why saying no, protecting your time, and choosing yourself are not selfish acts, but sacred steps toward a fuller, freer life. Imagine Clara, a 71-year-old from Savannah, who spent decades being everyone's rock. She was the one who hosted family dinners, volunteered at church, and never missed a call from a friend in need. But each yes came at a cost. Her own dreams, of painting, of quiet mornings with a book, were pushed aside. She felt drained, not from age, but from giving too much to those who rarely gave back. One day, Clara said no to hosting a last-minute gathering. The silence that followed was heavy. Disapproving glances, a cousin's curt text, "Didn't expect you to say no." But in that moment, Clara felt something new: freedom. Elderly wisdom whispered that her time wasn't owed to anyone. By setting that boundary, she reclaimed a piece of herself. Senior safety tips teach us that boundaries are an act of self-respect. Saying no doesn't mean you've stopped caring. It means you've started valuing your own senior health. You've walked through decades of joys and storms, earning the right to decide who gets your energy. When you say no to a constant taker or step back from a critic's subtle jabs, you're not being unkind. You're protecting your spirit. Boundaries let you save your warmth for those who truly see you, who don't expect your kindness as a given but cherish it as a gift. Healthy aging thrives on this balance, giving love freely but not at the expense of your own light. Here's the beauty of boundaries. They don't require apologies or long explanations. You don't need to justify why you're choosing a quiet evening over a draining visit, or why you're prioritizing your hobbies over someone else's demands. Senior safety means recognizing that your time is finite, and every moment spent with those who dim your joy is a moment stolen from the people and passions that lift you up. Think of boundaries as a garden fence, not to keep everyone out, but to protect what's blooming inside. In life after 70, your peace is the flower, and boundaries are what keep it safe from being trampled. Clara's story shows us that boundaries aren't about anger or rejection, they're about clarity. When she started saying no, she noticed something magical. The right people stayed. Her true friends didn't flinch when she set limits. They respected her. They showed up with coffee, laughed over shared memories, and loved her for who she was, not what she could do. Elderly wisdom reminds us that real love doesn't demand you stretch yourself thin. It meets you where you are with open hearts and no scorecards. By setting boundaries, you make room for these connections, creating a life after 70 filled with joy, not obligation. So take a deep breath and listen to that wise voice within, the one that knows when you're giving too much. Senior safety starts with honoring that voice. You don't need to please everyone or carry the weight of others' expectations. Your kindness is a treasure, not a debt. In healthy aging, boundaries are your way of saying, I choose me. And that choice isn't selfish, it's sacred. It's how you ensure your life after 70 shines with the peace and joy you've earned. Guard your heart fiercely and watch how it blooms. 4. Choosing quality relationships for a joyful life. In the tapestry of life after 70, elderly wisdom weaves a powerful lesson. The relationships you nurture shape the color of your days. As we age, senior safety isn't just about physical well-being, it's about surrounding yourself with people who lift your spirit, honor your journey, and bring warmth to your heart. Healthy aging means letting go of connections that drain you and embracing those that fill your soul with joy. Choosing quality relationships isn't about having a crowded circle, it's about curating a small, genuine one, people who celebrate you, not tolerate you. These senior safety tips will guide you to build a life rich with love and meaning. Picture Evelyn, a 74-year-old from Nashville who spent years being everyone's confidant. She listened to friends' troubles, hosted gatherings, and gave her time freely. But she noticed a pattern. Some friends only called when they needed her, while others subtly competed or criticized. When she joined a local choir, her first step toward a long-forgotten passion, she shared her excitement only to hear a friend say, "Singing at your age? That's brave." The words stung, and Evelyn realized not everyone in her circle was rooting for her. Elderly wisdom taught her that senior safety means choosing relationships that spark joy, not ones that dim it. Quality relationships are like warm fires on a winter night. They comfort, they inspire, they make you feel seen. These are the people who cheer your successes without envy, who sit with you in quiet moments without judgment, and who love you for who you are, not what you do. In life after 70, you don't need 100 friends. You need a few true ones. Healthy aging thrives when you let go of those who take without giving, who criticize instead of uplift, or who make you feel small. Letting go doesn't mean a dramatic farewell. It's a quiet shift. You stop pouring energy into one-sided connections and redirect it toward those who reciprocate your care. Evelyn learned this when she distanced herself from draining friends and leaned into her choir community. There she found people who clapped for her solos, shared her love for music, and asked about her day with genuine care. These connections didn't demand she prove her worth. They celebrated it. Senior safety tips remind us you deserve relationships that feel like home, not a battlefield. If someone's presence leaves you questioning yourself, it's okay to step back. You don't need to explain or justify. Your energy is precious, and healthy aging means investing it in people who mirror your light, not those who cast shadows. Choosing quality relationships also means recognizing your own value. You've weathered storms, laughed through joys, and earned the right to be surrounded by those who see your strength. Elderly wisdom tells us that real love doesn't come with conditions or competitions. It's the friend who calls just to chat, the family member who respects your no, the neighbor who shares a smile without expecting anything in return. In life after 70, these are the souls who make your days brighter. By letting go of toxic ties, you create space for these connections to flourish. So take a moment to reflect. Who in your life makes you feel truly seen? Who lifts you up without keeping score? Senior safety starts with choosing them. Your heart is a treasure. Surround it with people who treat it as such. In healthy aging, quality trumps quantity every time. Embrace the courage to walk away from what dims your spirit and watch how your life after 70 fills with the warmth of genuine love. You deserve nothing less. 5. Loving yourself and living authentically. In the golden chapters of life after 70, elderly wisdom unveils a truth that shines brighter with each passing year. The most important relationship you'll ever nurture is the one with yourself. Senior safety isn't just about protecting your physical well-being or guarding your heart from others. It's about cherishing your own spirit with the same kindness you've given the world. Healthy aging means living authentically, embracing who you are without apology, and choosing a life that reflects your truest self. These senior safety tips will guide you to love yourself fiercely and live with unburdened joy. Consider Thomas, a 73-year-old from Boulder who spent decades putting others first. He was the dependable friend, the devoted father, the neighbor who always said yes. But in quiet moments he felt a disconnect, a longing to reconnect with the passions he'd set aside, like writing poetry or hiking local trails. When he finally picked up his pen again, a friend remarked, "Poetry at your age? Isn't that a young man's game?" The comment stung, but it sparked a revelation. Thomas realized elderly wisdom wasn't about pleasing others. It was about honoring his own heart. He didn't need permission to be himself. Senior health thrives when you stop shrinking to fit others' expectations and start living for you. Loving yourself means recognizing that your dreams, no matter how small they seem, are worth pursuing. Healthy aging isn't about fading into the background. It's about refining your life to its purest essence. You've earned the right to say no to what drains you and yes to what lights you up. Maybe it's painting, gardening, or simply enjoying a quiet cup of coffee. Without interruption. These aren't selfish acts. They're sacred. Senior safety means protecting your time and energy as fiercely as you'd protect a loved one. You don't need to justify your choices or apologize for prioritizing your joy. In life after 70, every moment is a chance to live authentically, to be the person you've always been, beneath the weight of others' expectations. Living true to yourself also means listening to that inner voice, the one that knows when a relationship or situation no longer serves you. Thomas felt it when he distanced himself from friends who dismissed his passions. He didn't confront them. He simply redirected his energy toward people who celebrated his poetry, who joined him on walks, who saw his spark and fanned it. Elderly wisdom teaches us that self-love isn't about closing your heart. It's about opening it to what truly nourishes you. You deserve to laugh freely, to breathe deeply, to feel unburdened by guilt or judgment. Senior safety tips remind us, when you choose yourself, you create space for genuine connections, people who love you for who you are, not what you do. In life after 70, self-love is your birthright. It's the courage to let go of toxic ties without anger, to set boundaries without guilt, to pursue your passions without doubt. Healthy aging means distilling your life to its richest parts, moments of joy, people who uplift you, and a heart that feels at home in its own skin. So pause and ask, what makes you feel alive? What brings you peace? Senior safety starts with honoring those answers. You've walked a long road to get here. Now let it lead to a life that's fully, beautifully yours. Love yourself fiercely and watch how your light draws the right people closer. You've always deserved it. Practical advice for living with wisdom and peace. In life after 70, elderly wisdom becomes your compass, guiding you to live authentically while protecting your peace. Senior safety isn't just about physical precautions, it's about nurturing your emotional senior health by choosing relationships and habits that uplift you. Drawing from the lessons of healthy aging, here are practical senior safety tips to apply in your daily life, ensuring your golden years are filled with joy and purpose. First, practice saying no with confidence, whether it's declining, a favor from a constant taker, or stepping back from a draining conversation. Elderly wisdom teaches that boundaries are an act of self-love. Start small. Politely decline one request that feels overwhelming, like skipping a last-minute errand. For someone who never reciprocates, notice how it feels to reclaim that time for yourself, maybe for a walk, a hobby, or simply a quiet moment. This small act of senior safety preserves your energy for what truly matters. Next, reflect on your relationships. Make a mental list of people in your life. Who leaves you feeling lighter and who leaves you drained? Healthy aging thrives when you prioritize quality connections. Reach out to one person who celebrates you, a friend who laughs at your stories, or a family member who respects your boundaries. Plan a coffee date or a phone call with them this week. At the same time, gently distance yourself from chronic critics or guilt trippers. You don't need a confrontation. Just reduce contact, perhaps by responding less quickly or redirecting your time to those who uplift you. Senior safety tips remind us, your heart deserves warmth, not weight. Embrace your passions without apology. Life after 70 is the perfect time to reconnect with what makes you feel alive, whether it's painting, gardening, or learning something new. Set aside 1 hour this week for an activity that sparks joy, and protect that time fiercely. If someone questions your choices, like a secret competitor dismissing your efforts, smile and move forward. Your joy is yours to claim. And elderly wisdom affirms that living authentically strengthens your senior health. Finally, check in with yourself daily. Take a quiet moment each morning to ask, what do I need today? It might be rest, a kind word, or space from a passive-aggressive manipulator. Trust that inner voice. It's your guide to healthy aging. By setting boundaries, choosing quality, relationships, and prioritizing your passions, you create a life that honors your journey. Senior safety means guarding your peace like a treasure, ensuring your life after 70 glows with the love and joy you've earned. Start today. Choose one small step and watch how your world brightens.